Well, hi there. My apologies first of all. If you've been waiting for us to start at 11 o'clock, I had a few technical issues, but they've hopefully been resolved now, so I can make a start. So my apologies for not starting promptly. Let me introduce myself. My name is Alex Connell, and I'm a roving chef that works for Vegetarian for Life, which is a charity that supports older vegetarians and vegans. Now, today is just a little sample of one of the courses that we offer, which is Meat Free 101, and it's aimed at caterers. So if you're caring for somebody who's elderly and a vegetarian or vegan, this is the sort of course that you may be interested in. It's just a half-day course, but today I'm just going to give you a little taster of that. So everything's changed. We normally deliver these courses in-house, so we would come to your setting and deliver the training that way. But obviously at the moment we're restricted, so we're doing things on live. But down, in time as things open up, obviously we'll be able to pop down and deliver the training. Do have a look on our website. We've got lots of information on there about other courses that are available and other resources. Some of the resources we've got are our fantastic vegan rescue pack, if you can see that. This is available as a PDF online, so you can see that for free. We've also got this is one of our brand new guide, which is vegan baking. There's lots of lovely recipes in there. A favourite of mine, which is a chocolate cake in there. You must give it a try, and you can find that on our website as well. We've also got dietary diversity in the care sector, so have a look at that. We've got others as well, but this just gives a little sample of some of the resources that we've got to support people that care for older vegetarians or vegans. So do have a look at that. We've also got 1,500 care homes that are signed up for best practice. We've also got a meals to your door scheme as well. We've got information on nutrition, so really do have a quick look at our website, which is Vegetarian for Life, and you'll find everything on there. Okay, right. So on the Meat Free 101, what will you learn? You'll learn about nutrition, you'll learn some cookery tips, you'll learn how to prepare tofu, you'll learn how to use meat alternatives. It really will give you some great ideas if you're catering for an older person that's vegetarian or vegan. But today, what I want to do is I want to show you two quick, simple recipes. So I've got my trusty induction cooker here, so hopefully you can see what's going on inside. So it's going to beep. There's going to be a couple of beeps, but I'm going to get this going straight away. So if I can switch that up and put the temperature on there. Now, the first dish that I want to make is it's bolognese. Now, I know you know how to make bolognese, and I know that you've all got your own recipes and so on and so forth. But the great thing about this recipe is it's a very familiar one, so that it's not something that you need to relearn as a chef, but or a caterer, but you're just going to swap some of the ingredients around a little bit to make it vegetarian or vegan. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make everything vegan with this one. So I'm not going to completely cook it out, but it will take about 20 minutes if you were doing this in real time. So what have I got? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is to pop in a little bit of oil into my pan. And then I'm going to put in the onions, okay, as you would do normally. Now, obviously, I'd want to cook these out for 5-10 minutes or so, but I'm not going to do that today. I want to speed things along. So I've got my trusty wooden spoon, give that a stir. So if you can just bear with me, these have been cooking now for 5 minutes or so, so that's giving it a nice flavour. And then I'm going to add some garlic. As much or as little as you like, in it goes. Cook that for a couple of minutes, and then we can start to put the rest of the ingredients in here. So we've got some courgettes chopped up nicely. We've got some red peppers, so great source of vitamin C, but also getting in some colour as well. You want things to look nice and presentable, so give that a little stir. And I've also got some chopped up mushrooms. In we go. And of course, some tomatoes and tomato puree. You can in fact use actual ketchup as well, tomato ketchup, which is what I've got here. And that's really tomato paste with a bit of sugar, a few spices, and a bit of vinegar in there as well. So it's absolutely fine to use. There's a bit of steam coming off this. I'm just going to step to one side for the moment. And this is going to cook down. Now, so far so good, okay, but what about the protein in here? So what you could do is you could add some lentils, some green lentils, you could add some red lentils if you like. Now, a few tips about using pulses. I would recommend for this, for speed, to use tinned ones. So I put straight away, I put in some green lentils from a can. Now, if you were going to use red lentils, they do cook very quickly, but for this sort of dish, I would be tempted not to use them. But of course, you could put other pulses in there, and I would go to the tinned ones just for speed, okay, just for speed. But this time, I'm going to put in some soya mince. Now, this is frozen soya mince, which you can get in all the supermarkets these days, and this is a very high source of protein, and it's also going to give it a little bit of texture in there as well. So when you're cooking with the soya, if you've not done that before, what can happen is that it doesn't really have much of a flavour. So you've really got to add lots of things in there to boost the flavour with this one. Now, my recommendation will be the frozen over the dried. Now, the dried is a lot cheaper, but it's very, very bland. So you've got to add lots of herbs and spices to that just to give it a nice flavour. So I would go for the frozen. That would be my choice anyway. So a little bit of a stir, and of course finally we need to add some flavour to this. So I've got some mixed herbs here which I picked this morning from the garden. In we go, and I've got a couple of bay leaves in there, and there we're done. Really as simple as that. So the reason that I wanted to sort of highlight this to you is that it's so simple, but it's also so quick. You can change the ingredients around. You can put carrots in there. You can put all sorts of different things in there. Now this is a great base for serving with pasta, but you could also add kidney beans and chili and turn it into a chili. You could use this as a base for cottage pie, or you could turn it into a curry. You could use it for a pie filling. You could put sliced potatoes on the top for a Lancashire hot pot. Any of these would work really, really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this over to the side, and then I'm going to bring my other dish to show you. So I'm just going to pop that to one side. Now I may put a little bit of stock in there as well, or a little bit of water just to help that to cook through. So bear with me 1 second. I'll just move this out of the way, and I'm going to get the other one in. My apologies for disappearing like that. So the next dish I want to show you is, I can just move these out and move this one back. Now this recipe, you find both recipes on our website, and I'm just going to make a quick start with that. So in we go with our little bit of oil in there, and to that I'm going to put in onions and let those cook for a moment or two. Now this dish is it's on our website, and it's the base for mushroom medley, we call it, and you can use this dish in a number of different ways. Okay, now it's mushroom medley. It's got mushrooms in, okay, but it's also got corn in there as well. My apologies. I don't know whether we've... Sorry, my camera disappeared. I hope we're still still with me. Right, so I've got some onions in here, which is frying away nicely. I'm going to put some garlic in there just to give it a nice flavour. Now this time, the ingredients. So I put some celery in there, but this time the protein source is this one here, which is corn. Now, corn is mycoprotein. It's a very high level of quite a high level of protein in that. So it's a good source of protein for vegetarians, vegans, and meat eaters alike. So I would have a try with this. And many of the varieties of corn these days are in fact vegan, but do have a look on the label because some still use eggs. So these are the chunks, and in we go with those. So I'm not going to cook this out completely. I just want to give you an idea of how to use it. So this would, if you imagine that this would have been cooking for 5 minutes or so. I also want to add some herbs in there. So I've got some parsley and a little bit of extra flavour. I've got some paprika. Here we go with the paprika. Now, when you're using paprika, it comes in many different forms. So you could get it smoky, you get it sweet, or alternatively, get it with a bit of chili in, which is the way I've got it today. And of course, it wouldn't be mushroom medley without our mushrooms. So in we go. Now, it may look as though that's quite a lot of mushroom. And for my pan, I'm not going to add any more to that. And that's just going to cook down nicely. So speeding things forward, in about 5 minutes or so, I would add the stock. But because we're just doing a little taster today, I'm going to add my stock now. Now the stock is a vegetable stock, of course, because I'm making this for vegetarians or vegans. But do check the stock because it may be that you've got a vegetarian stock, but it does have milk in there as well. So do check that you've got a vegan one. In it goes, and that will just simmer away and do its own thing. Now, I want to give this a bit of sauce, a bit of thickness. So what I've got is a little bit of corn flour mixed with water, and I'm just going to pop this in now. And then as it cooks, it will thicken up nicely, and that will do it. So I'm just giving a bit of a stir because the starch tends to fall to the bottom. In we go. Give it a stir, and this will thicken up. As I can start to see, it's thickening up nicely. Now, a couple of last ingredients for this that you may not have seen before. I want to add some soy cream to this. Now, you can buy this in most supermarkets. You can get this is a brand called Alpro, but you can get one called Oatly. There's others available. A good slug of soy cream in there. And that's just giving it a nice rich flavour. But it's also adding calories. So if you're trying to add additional calories to your dish, then you can add some of that as well. And of course, it's still vegan. Now this is bubbling away nicely, so I'm just going to turn this down slightly. Now, if you have got any questions, please do send them in. And if I can't answer it straight away, I will get back to you. But this is just doing its thing nicely. Now, the great thing about this recipe is that you can use it in a number of different ways. You'll find this recipe on the website, so you can have a look on there, along with the bolognese recipe, which I'm just keeping an eye on over there. So I'm just going to give it a quick shake. There we go. Sorry about that clanking. But with this recipe, great for in pies. So if you've got some ready rolled pastry, you could put this into a pie case with a crust on the top. You can freeze it. You could turn it into, we've got a recipe for some vegan savoury pancakes, so you could use this as a filling for that. Or you could alternatively put that into jack potato, or you could serve it with pasta, either way you want to do. But I would just recommend putting a little bit of extra colour onto the top, just to lift that. So if I just raise this up for you so you can have a look. And that's it, it's pretty much done. So this is just going to simmer away for 10 minutes or so, and then we can serve it. So that just gives me a few moments just to talk about a few other things that you'll learn on the course. It is half-day course, okay, and this is just a taster. So you'll learn things about nutrition, you'll learn about you'll learn about nutrition, you'll learn about accidental vegan products. I'm just distracted with this pan over here. I'm going to move that off the heat. There we go. You'll learn about nutrition. You'll learn some cookery tips. As I say, you'll learn a little bit about tofu using pulses. But you'll also have a look at unconscious bias. Now, this is quite an interesting concept. If I, as a vegetarian, would say I had shepherd's pie for tea last night, in my head, I know that means shepherd's pie, vegetarian version. If you didn't know that I was vegetarian, you may assume that it was a meat one, and vice versa, okay? Now, if you're caring for someone and they ask for a cottage pie, do make sure that you know that it's a vegetarian or a vegan one that they're after, okay? Or sausages, or any of these, or a burger, or any of these types of foods that have they're kind of nondescript as to what they could be or couldn't be. So that's an idea, a concept that we go into in a little bit more detail on the day. So if you are interested and you want to sort of register for me to come down, or we could do a Zoom meeting, we could do it many different bits of technology these days, then do have a look on the website, which is Vegetarian for Life, and you'll find information about this course and many others. But I've got in the oven over here some lovely jacket potatoes. You can see those. These have been cooking away nicely, so nice and crispy and ready to go. So I can serve those with my cottage pie. I could serve that with my mushroom medley. So the idea with these two recipes is that you can reinvent them and you can use them, you can freeze them, you can use them in many different ways. You also may want to think about using a slow cooker, so you can put the ingredients in the morning, and then your client will be able to enjoy a hot meal in the evening. But with slow cookers, they do come with a little bit of guidance, so you do need to be careful that you're not putting things in there that won't be cooked properly. So it does come with a bit of guidance, but they can be very useful tools, if you like. So I hope you've enjoyed this very short little sample of the meat-free 101. Got lots more that I want to share with you over the half day. So do have a look on our website. We've got all sorts of other courses as well, which we're offering online. So have a look there. But until I see you in real time or in over the internet, I will say goodbye. Hope you're keeping well, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, and take care. Bye bye.